So what does this mean architecturally? At some level, there's a disruption. Many of you are part of that. You feel that disruption. And I want to be clear that we understand that this is disruptive. We don't have our heads in the sand. We understand that these are scale disruptions. They matter. They affect people's businesses and so forth. In many ways, it's part of a pattern that's existed in humanity for a long time.
One of my major concerns of this new technological space is that processes will disappear. And there's so many jobs that rely on processes that deal with pre and post meetings of things that need to be addressed and taken care of. A lot of these positions will cease to exist. And for that reason, I'm interested in Google, Microsoft, and Apple providing a transition organization or providing an autonomous organization that will support people in transitioning from process orientation to more of a structured, ordered world.
I'm a computer scientist. I believe very strongly in the optimism of what we can do with computers and science to make the world a better place.
And I'm an organizational scientist. And I'm committed that interactions and resources be available based on what's important to us each moment.
These are fundamentally information problems, and that's what computer science is about.
This is where we fundamentally disagree. I don't think this has anything to do with information. I think this is about our interests and concerns and how our actions and our plans will affect the future.
So let's think about this world over the next few years, and by the way, pretty soon, within a year or two, with these phones that I'm talking about, which all of you have, and the tablets that many of you have, and that with many more coming this year. Well, let me give you an example. You never forget anything, right? Computers are interesting. The computers are very good at making lists, remembering things, and keeping memories of what we do, which is precisely what we're not good at.
I think our main interest isn't so much in what has happened, but in what's getting ready to take place in the future. In business and in our lives, what's getting ready to happen, the commitments we make as a person, as a member of a family, an organization, are all important to us. And where this technological space will support us is in the agreements and commitments we make and that others make with us. It allows computers to support both the breakdowns and the fulfillment of the future that we've planned and we've committed to, for in our homes, for ourselves, and in organizations that we're involved in.
I mean, you have to turn your computer off to get lost, and you would never turn off your computer, right? So you'll never get lost. It's this bizarre property of all of this. And by the way, with your permission, all your friends know where you are too. So they can also find you.
See, this isn't just about friends finding you or you finding friends, but anything that's important. Let's say that you need to go somewhere, where you are and what's important to you, what you might want to buy, what you might want to pick up. Like Eric was saying earlier, the traffic conditions, it's all based on where you are each moment. And inside this new technological space, where you are and the nearest screen are constantly interacting and providing what's important to you each moment.
Right. An awful lot of conflict has been fundamentally due to misunderstanding of culture. Humans are generally good and generally want the same things, and yet we don't talk to each other enough. Now we can do it, and we can understand the depth of the culture when we're sitting across the other side of the table.
Part of the differences in cultural differences or regional differences, but a lot of the breakdowns that happen in communication have to do with a lack of awareness of our current emotional state. Sometimes we get headstrong, we get really arrogant and committed, and it really turns people off, and we're not very effective when that happens. Inside this new technological environment, we'll constantly be given feedback on what our emotional condition is each moment. We'll know that when we're connected and when we're in our thinking and not really connecting with what the other person is saying. That will give us an edge not only to be more effective, but deal with issues and problems and wars. With this self-awareness, we'll have a capacity to interrupt many of the conflicts that occur on a global basis.
You know what to pay attention right now. I don't know about you all, but there's so much coming in, but the computer can help you sort out. We can help figure out what you should be spending your time on. We can give you a priority list that's tailored to you.
Once again, I disagree. I don't think anybody knows what's best for us other than we do. I'm not saying that sometimes we don't completely in our thoughts and lose touch with being connected to other people. I think we need support in those areas. But in what is really important to us and what our interests are, I think only we are the best at discovering and figuring out what that is.
And you're never bored, because not only are there things to do, but we can suggest even new things for you. So a lifelong life of entertainment and knowledge is possible. And you're never out of ideas, right? Because we can always suggest new ideas, what you can do next, and so forth. And imagine a calendar of all the world's events, all the interesting things that are going on. All of a sudden, it's a potpourri for all of us to choose from. All because of the ability to understand what you care about, get that to you in real time on these new mobile devices, and use the supercomputers that are in the cloud to properly sort them so you're not completely overwhelmed.
Doesn't it make more sense that whatever you're interested would supply the ideas and resources for you? I see our capacity to be able to entertain ourselves much more than we do now, because I think we'll be much more effective in producing results and organizing ourselves without having to go 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or who knows how many steps. As we interact, as we relate to what's important to us, the world shifts.
But what's most important about this future, which I've not said, is it's a future for the masses, not the elites. Historically, information was something that was held to the elites, to the rich people, to the educated people. And the thing that I am proudest of, and I share this, I think, with all of you, is that because of your work in spreading mobile devices, 2 billion people will enter our conversation who we've never heard from in the next 3 to 4 years. We don't know what they care about.
This segment really interested me because I think that what's available inside of this new technological space is that the power of a CEO is to organize and to have people support what he's up to or she's up to. Inside this new technological space, we each individually start gaining the same kind of power of a CEO. We get to organize ourselves in a way that arranges a world that supports what's important to us each moment. So now our jobs are no longer about, doing for others. It's about coordinating with other people in such a way that we become effective in producing results and making a difference in the world.
But the important point is that they are coming. And they're coming with human values, human concerns, human problems. And because of the architecture, because of the scale, because of the designs that you all helped build at this conference over these many years, it's possible, and it will change their lives so much more than it changed any of ours. And that's what I'm proudest of.
I think the biggest challenge is for us to unlearn what it is to be busy and for us to start gaining capacity to what it is to interact and to consult and to make a difference and to ask people for support and to support other people. This might be the biggest advantage to the people who are going to be entering into this new paradigm, one that is going to be novel to us, but it's going to be the only world that these other people understand.
So this is a future that's very much committed to doing good. It's a future where our technology, our approach should give people something that matters to them, which is time. It should give them time back.
Once again, I see a different view. I see that this new technological space gives us time all the time, that we'll be living inside of a space that allows us to live our lives with a fullness never ever before realized. It's
a quote from the New York Times from William Gibson. Google has made of us a sort of coral reef of human minds and their products. I hope we can all working together fulfill what I consider to be an extraordinary vision of what technology can do to make mankind a better experience and make the world a better place. Thank you so very much.
I want to thank Eric Schmidt for his amazing insight. And yes, there were some moments where I disagreed with him, but then I've invented a new technological space. And as Alan Kay, a brilliant computer scientist back in the early 70s said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Thank you so much for your time and attention.